Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, guys, and today we're gonna talk about it. Omni and the Hellcat has finally been sentenced. He's getting 5.5 years in federal prison. Guys, let's jump quickly into the video. First thing, shout out to my Boost Emotion family. I know you guys have already hit the like button. Thank you guys for your support. And if you're new to the Boost Emotion family, I am Boost. I'm a Nissan Infiniti enthusiast, car enthusiast. I also a current owner of a Mercedes E63S, but also I report the news. So guys, if you don't know Omni and the Hellcat, this dude came out like 5 years ago. I would say 3 to 4 years ago. And he was just buying crazy amounts of Hellcats. And he was just splurging, living his life, guys. I don't care what no one says. A lot of people were loving this dude because where was he getting all this money? He was blowing money, buying cars like every day, and showing this luxury lifestyle that people were literally like, where you getting this money from? Where's all this bread coming from? Who are you, bro? And here's the thing about it is, whenever you look like you're getting fast money, people are watching. So I'm going to read the article first, but this is his Omni Hellcast channel. I'm not going to go through his content. You definitely can. Even though y'all may not consider him an automotive YouTuber, he technically is, right? So I would say more of a lifestyle YouTuber. YouTuber ordered to forfeit $30 million in luxury assets, including $6 million in cash, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and private property portfolio after a TV piracy scheme. So I'm going to go through the article, but quickly, he pretty much made an app where he streamed live videos, movies, and everything overseas and charged a subscription fee. And that's how he was making his money. But here's the thing. It was a gray area. A couple of years, I would say 3 or 5 years ago, it was a gray area because this app stuff was very much still new 5 to 6 years ago. So he was kind of in a way being, pirating and a lot of copyright infringement. But because it was really no legislation say that he couldn't do it at that time, it's gray area. Followers of the influencer Bill Omar, Omni and the Hellcat, he's a flashy car collection, takes front and center YouTube channel with millions of views because guys, he exploded. I'm not gonna lie, when he came out of nowhere, people just jumped on him because he had the lifestyle that people wanted. Fans have also enjoyed I don't really want to go through this part. So now the YouTuber who has been sentenced for more than 5 years in federal prison will have to give up most of his luxuries, which boosted his popularity online. He pleaded guilty to charges including copyright infringement and tax fraud last year. That's the next part. I would say he had a CPA or a tax person who honestly messed up. He still would have possibly got caught or got in trouble, but because his taxes were so bad and so messed up, which he stated on video years before, it's what got them really looking at him. So it's not really always a lifestyle, but it's, are you paying Uncle Sam? And that's where he actually messed up at. And he admitted to it on video. As part of his sentence Tuesday, he was ordered to forfeit $30 million. You read this part. $30 million is a lot of money. Tangible objects aren't everything, U.S. District Judge Harvey Bartle said. You have a large following, and there may be people who think if you can get away with it, they can too. Pay attention to that part. Because if anybody has been watching him for years, I've watched him years ago, he said this was a gray area. He spoke about it, the logistics or the legality of it, and it was a gray area. But they had to make an example of him because he's an American. He was making stupid boatloads of money selling these apps overseas. Think about it. Technically, you're operating outside of the jurisdiction of United States, but you're making your companies or your S corps or whatever in the United States and then doing business overseas. That's what he messed up at. I think if he would have just did his apps with a business that was foreign and did it that way and then shell companies and somehow hit it properly, he'd have been perfectly fine because it would have been overseas. But he did it over here, and that's what he messed up at. From rags to riches. Let me see. The 36-year-old influencer turned hustler grew up in North Philly, was raised as one of 38 children. Wow, he became a deca millionaire, or maybe 100 millionaire, out of 38 kids. That's insane. His mother was deported before dying of an overdose when he was a child. Damn, these guys be hustling, bro. Like, just hearing his upbringing. When you guys be complaining about your life, think about this dude's life. Damn. Described his father as a drug dealer who was in and out of jail and was trained him to cook crack at just 12 years old. Grew up, he bounced between foster care and living with various family members. At one point, he claimed he was staying with a caretaker who had him committed to mental health facilities solely for access for prescription narcotics that his guardian planned to later sell on the streets. Yo, guys, think about that. As a teenager, he got into drug dealing and spent time in jail before quitting to build his $1 million business without a high school diploma and a little financial backing, which would eventually land him behind illegal territory. Think about that, guys. This guy came from nothing, bro, and somehow found his way to finesse these companies and make an app going with the day and age where the future of stuff is going, and he was just one of the first people to go out there, but he got caught. Despite the lack of formal education, he was a cutting-edge technology at the time to launch an illegal alternative to his likes of Netflix in 2016. The company, which held various names over years, including Gears TV, Gears Reloaded, provided subscribers with hundreds of on-demand movies and television shown, as well as access to dozens of live cable shows for low as $15 a month. Think about that, guys. He developed an app, and most of us can develop an app, hire somebody to do it, and he found a way to do it years ago. But all the content was stolen from legitimate services like Comcast, Verizon, and DirecTV. This is like mirroring. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's like mirroring, which is copyright infringement, and then you're selling it. But he was selling it overseas. That's where he messed up at. He should have just been overseas and sell it overseas. He said there was also 2 other defendants have been hacking encrypted cable boxes and then streaming and reselling the copyright content. The IPTV services, or Internet Protocol Television, attracted more than 100,000 subscribers and generated more than $34 million in revenue before the federal investigators shut it down in 2019. This is why his tax people messed up, but then he had this lifestyle. He had like 100 cars, making it one of the most brazen and successful cable TV privacy schemes ever prosecuted in general by the Justice Department. Wow. He was that big. There's something to be said for someone who never had a chance, but made one for themselves, and who did everything in their power not to be that person they were expected to be, his attorney said. The legal gray area, right? Despite his guilty plea, his lawyer both claimed that the successful business had at least initially operated within the legal gray area. He posted videos in his defense on his YouTube last year explaining that he legally paid for the subscriptions to all his cable services whose content he was accused of pirating. In the video, FBI sees everything from me. You guys can go check it on his YouTube channel. FBI sees everything from me. He likened his business. He linked his business model to asking friends who don't have cable subscription to chip in if they come over to your home to watch something that's pay-per-view. Okay, so he used an example like it's like he paid for a service, and it's like basically telling someone to come to your house. So your homeboys come to your house like, yo, if you want to watch the game in my crib, yo, just give me like $5. I'll buy some chips and stuff for the crib. That's basically what he did, right? That's what he's saying. I'm only guilty of making money. I ain't guilty of anything else. The prosecutors disagreed, doubling down that the practice was always illegal and that his fans should be aware of this. The message to the general public, many fans, is that this was a serious offense that should yield significant punishment. And while highlighting that he had made more money from his illegal stint than virtually every other copyright defendant has ever seen. So, guys, he was not only doing this, he was the best at the best. So, lastly, in addition to 5.5 years, $30 million in assets, $11 million in restitutions, and $5.5 in IRS unpaid taxes. That's the part right there. Federal authorities seized all his cars in 2019, including his collection of Lamborghinis. Did not fight prosecutors' request to pay back these debts, and he's also selling his mansion and downsizing to do so. Meanwhile, the judge, until May 8th, begins serving his sentence. Until then, he remains free on bail. He swore on Tuesday hearing that once released, he intends to focus on his family and legitimate ventures like his YouTube channel. This sentence saved my life, he concluded. Guys, I'm going to keep it straight up and 100 with you guys, right? He finessed the system. This is what you call a finesse. He finessed the system. He operated in gray area because there was no legality in 2016, 2017. These are new apps, so there was no laws to say that he couldn't do this. There's a difference when, remember, a lot of you guys are young, so you don't understand that. At one point we had like video cassettes, right? And there was the privacy warnings that used to be on it, right? And you're not supposed to resell it. Then everything went digital. Then it went streaming. So these are the old rules are not grandfathered in. They don't just go now into becoming something because it's a whole different venture. So they have to put new rules and new laws into it. And the failure of the system to do that is where he fell in a gray area and he went and he made his money. I'm not mad at him for doing it. And the thing is, I would say, as he said, but in my personal opinion, I think his biggest mistake was, number one, he didn't set up his businesses properly to protect himself from it. He should have set up a lot of things overseas in a different way and pretty much did operations overseas. That's number one. Number two, his taxes. He messed up on his taxes. That was one of the biggest highlights on why they put their eyes on him. Yo, this guy is buying all this stuff and his taxes were messed up. So he owed a lot of money in back taxes. So that's what really got him on alarm. And finally, his lifestyle. He was the only one popping up during that day and age, that time, where it's like you are on social media, which is already up and coming, and you got like 50 cars. You're going to the lot buying 2 Hellcats at a time. Bro, people are still going to watch you, bro, and be like, yo, where are you getting this from? So him coming from the bottom and then going all the way up and showing this extravagant lifestyle is what got him messed up. All three of these things is what messed him up. At the end of the day, he's probably a very smart dude. He did it right. He finessed right. But your lifestyle messed you up. Your paperwork messed you up. The people you had around you doing your paperwork messed you up. And this is where most of the downfall always comes for people who live this lifestyle. They're not going to always have the fast money for a very long time, man. You're not. You have to set it up right, okay? So it is what it is. Unfortunately, hopefully he knocks it out. Hope the best for him, and hopefully he gets back to his family. And honestly, I'm happy this finally comes to an end for him. I bet you he was dealing with this stuff for years and years, and he just wanted it to be over. All right. So outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Shout out to my fellow Boost Emotion family. I know you guys have already hit the like I said, like button for that support. Also, you can add me at Boost Emotion IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.